Outlaw Sports is brought to you by Molson Canadian, made from Canada, and Rocky Mountain Barbecue, Alberta barbecue cuisine at its best. First of all, let's talk about the Calgary Stampeders and the mess that they got going up at McMahon Stadium.
Good. I just think it's building the drama for the playoffs, isn't
Sure.
it? This is all mapped out by the management team how we're gonna build. They're gonna be like the St. Louis Cardinals. The St. Louis Cardinals were 10.5 games out late August. Now they're in the World Series. The Stamps are doing the same.
I'm interested. They've got my attention. Up until this point, when they pulled Henry, I was just thinking, wow, another lost season down at McMahon. But now suddenly I'm excited about finding out what they're going to do next. I'm excited to see another quarterback. None of this is a slight on Henry Burris. He is the reigning most outstanding player in the CFL. I give you that.
Doesn't mean anything.
What it means.
Ask John Grace what it means.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, what it means is he's still a long ways away from being washed up and his career being over. That's for sure.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%.
Long ways
maybe
away.
not here. Maybe not here.
Oh, you're already going to throw out there that maybe it's time for a change of scenery?
No, I just don't think. I think the Stampeders, knowing the relationship between Hufnagel and Henry Burris, the Stampeders won't want Henry back. This is Drew Tate's team next year. Henry Burris, I think, will be in Toronto. Jim Barker wanted him badly this year. They also wanted Drew Tate, but they knew they weren't going to get him. Wanted Henry this year. I think Hank's still got a tank.
Well, wait a sec, Mike. Wait a sec. We're all over the place here on the Stamps.
Wow.
We're all
saying this.
We're all over. You're saying Hank still has some skill. He's 36 years old. If what happened in Toronto was a one-off this season,
I'm not saying it was a one-off.
And then the reliever came in and saved the day. Okay, you go back with Hank. But look at all season long, we've sat here and said, why is he throwing into the ground? Why is he fumbling? Why is he? Every game, we said this in July, August, September, and we're still saying it now. There is something wrong with his
Hufnagel hasn't got his
now.
back. He's been playing. He's been playing mind games with them all year.
36 years
Doesn't
old,
matter, Grant.
And you're saying he's being affected.
What happened to Guy Lafleur? What happened to Guy Lafleur in Montreal? There's a guy that was one of the all-time greats. They started playing with his mind. You start telling somebody the shit, sooner or later they're going to believe the shit. This is what's happened to Henry Burris. I'm not saying anything bad about Drew Tate. Sure, he is the quarterback of the future. Will he be as good? I don't know. You don't know year from year. But I still think Henry can go to another team.
Explain yourself. Explain yourself. You're saying Hufnagel is affecting Henry Burris.
Grant, if you would have watched our Ian Busby special, you would have heard. They've had fights all year. It started in the off season. It's carried over here. Henry is scared. He has no confidence. He's afraid to go out and play the way that Henry wants to play because he's afraid of getting the hook. And when your mind's gone as a quarterback, your confidence is gone, you're gone.
What does Huff wants him to run more? Does he want him to pass more? Does he want to do short passes, longer passes?
They've just got a bad relationship. They do.
They do.
But this is no. As a manager, Grant, as you're a coach, you got to protect your superstars. So you got to learn how to treat them.
I totally disagree with that.
I don't.
If your boss sitting over there, if Zach's your boss, and you guys fight off camera all the time, or if your editor, you're fighting with him, when you start writing or when that red light goes on, you got to be a professional. It doesn't matter what's happening in your home life.
You should know better than that. We've had managers that played head games with all of our stuff.
When the red light goes on, Mike, when the game starts, that's when Henry Burris, regardless of what happens off the field, as long as he and Dave Dickinson, his offensive coordinator, are on the same page and clicking, it shouldn't matter. At least it shouldn't matter over the long term. Maybe one game it throws you off.
What happened last year with the Calgary Flames once Daryl Sutter left?
That's a great point.
He was playing head games with them.
I didn't like the Guy Lafleur point because I think he was a terrible quarterback. But I like that point right there.
That's all I'm saying.
I think it's time now. I think we're seeing, we started seeing with Joffrey Reynolds, Malik Jackson, not as long term as a Stampeder, but a linebacker who hasn't played the last few games. I think Henry Burris should come out now. We haven't seen Rambo. Yes, he's been shaken up. The time, like the Flames, Eric, I believe the core of the Stampeders, it has to change. And you think that there's younger guys on the Stampeders now. I'm thinking about John Cornish, some other receivers, that maybe it's time now.
Changing of the guard.
The changing of the guard right now, though, Mike, not next season. That I'm just saying that That's what Hufnagel has to decide. No matter what differences he has with his #1 quarterback, who does he know will ignite this team and make them play better? And it appears that Drew Tate can rally the guys to play better.
Oh, wait a
more
second,
so than Henry Burris.
hold my time out. Drew Tate's played one game where he's really impressed and has everybody talking.
Well, maybe all that in-house fighting that Burris is doing is affecting others when he's out there, so maybe just Burris being around there on the field.
Okay.
I'm just wondering about that.
Let's just, okay, straight up. Who do you play this week?
Drew Tate.
Henry Burris.
Wow. This is a real quarterback controversy.
It is.
Yeah, you know what? On the weekend I saw it. Tate comes in, mops up, does a great job. I'm thinking, oh, quarterback controversy, that's pretty contrived. But I really do believe it's legit now. I think there's an honest goodness debate that can be made on either side. The question is, how much do you think this season matters? I mean, they still have a chance to win the Grey Cup.
Anything can happen in this season.
For
You
sure
can
they
win
can.
a Grey Cup. Absolutely. There's teams that have had below 500 record get hot in the last couple of weeks. The BC Lions under Steve Barato is one example, and you can win. Wally, when he last won as a Stampeder coach, you get hot. All you have to do is get hot the last 3 games.
I think the answer is guys much smarter in football than us. They can't be smarter than us, but smarter in football than us. And that's Dave Dickinson, that's John Hufnagel, and maybe some other coaches with their input and say, who makes us better? Let's not be worried about Henry's ego. Will Henry be okay with this? That's not important right now with 3 games to go and a playoff game, so 4 games to go or more. I think they have to decide who makes us better now, not in the semifinal game, but right now. I think it's Drew Tate.
I agree. You got to make the decision right now and go with that guy who you think it is. And you've always got a nice fallback position in either case. We know Tate can come off the bench and be somewhat effective, you know, 1 game.
John Hufnagel really doesn't have to go too far to see how effective a 2-quarterback tandem can be. The only really great year John Hufnagel had, in my opinion, was when he played with Saskatchewan. You never knew who was going to start, him or Joe Barnes. They never really had any great years after, but together, if one folded, the other went in. Maybe that's what they have to look at, quarterback committee. Who's hot? Who's hot right now?
That's not a bad idea.
And it's not a bad idea. Some people can do that.
Yeah.
Hufnagel and Barnes did it.
I remember that year. Oh, no, I wasn't born.
You weren't born.
No.
I do. Here's one thing I want to ask.
You were dating his mom back then, weren't you?
See, that came out of nowhere. You didn't need to do that. We brought my mom in.
I feel creepy.
Your mom was a
again.
pretty
Yeah,
guy.
I
Why does he
agree.
do that?
I don't want even look at him right now.
Okay, this segment's over.
Can utility be a poster? Can utility keep you up at night, dreaming? Can utility put thoughts in your head? Depends on what you mean by utility. Introducing the new Porsche Cayenne and Cayenne S Hybrid. Lighter, more agile, more efficient. More Porsche than ever.